we're gonna talk about mine and Brock's birth story that happened on May 20th, 2004, 20 years ago.
So normally what happens in twin transfusion is one or both twins die.
And so, like, what if one day, like, you were changing our diapers and then you actually, like, switched us up on, like, the wrong thing, and then I'm actually Brock and he's actually Boston?
Yeah.
Could have happened very easily, especially when I was on watch.
What's up, you guys? It's Brock and Boston, and welcome back to our channel. I'm just kidding. Brock is actually on his mission, so he will not be in the video today. But I'm gonna sit down with my parents and talk about mine and Brock's birth story. So we turned 20 a few days ago, and I thought it'd be fun just to like give you a story on like how we were born. There's a big miracle that happened, so that'll be fun to share. And then I want to ask my parents like how they found out that they were pregnant with both of us. Like, I think they were only expecting one kid, and then they ended up with twins. So I'm gonna sit down with them and we're gonna hear what they're gonna say. All right, we're almost ready to film, except my mom had to run to the bathroom, so let's just wait. Finally, okay, here she comes. Okay, so we're gonna talk about mine and Brock's birth story that happened on May 20th, 2004, 20 years ago. But first, I think we should start out like, how did you guys find out you were pregnant with us? Because I don't think I know this story.
Well, I found out that I was pregnant by just taking a pregnancy test.
So, wait, were you guys wanting, like, so to give a little background, you guys had Alyssa, our sister,
Yeah.
and then were you guys gonna wait some time, or did you just like not, like?
I think that I just didn't go back on birth control, right? Guys, I can't remember.
20 years ago.
20 years ago was a long time. Anyways, so I found out that I was pregnant, but then I was spotting, and so when I went to the doctor,
Wait, how did you find out you were pregnant? So you just took the pregnancy?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. And wait, when it said positive, did you were you excited about it, or?
Yeah.
Were you like, oh, I have to get sick again? Because my mom
Actually,
had bad.
yeah, I always would get super sick. So I was already sick, I think that's why. Anyways, so I went to the doctor because when I had Alyssa, I had to get on progesterone for the first part of my pregnancy. So they put me on progesterone, and he's like, your blood levels are really high for not being very far along. And he said, so if you feel like you're dizzy or your heart's racing or something like that, then you should probably go to the ER because it means you have an ectopic pregnancy. And I was like, what the heck? Okay. So anyway, anxiety also has those exact same symptoms. So when you're stressed about something, your heart starts racing, then you start feeling dizzy and like out of breath, and I'm like, oh my gosh, Gentry, feel my pulse. Does it feel fast? And he's like, yes, it's so fast. So long story.
You guys are just making each other anxious. I know that's how I would be though.
Yeah.
Like.
So anyway, so we go to the hospital. They did a ultrasound and they're like, no, you are pregnant, but there's like a sac, but there's no heartbeat inside. So then I left, and so they were gonna do a DNC because they're like saying, oh, there was not a baby in there because there's just a sac but no heartbeat. So I'm like, okay, so I was supposed to wait a week and then go back and do a DNC. So I called my doctor and I'm like, it was like 5 days later, I think. And I'm like, can I just do the DNC now? I just wanna like get this on and carry on. I'm, wanna move on with life. So they're like, yeah, before we do that though, you need to get another ultrasound. So I went back to the ER and they did an ultrasound and they could see a heartbeat. So then she's like, hang on, I need to do the different kind of ultrasound. So she does this other ultrasound and she's like, ma'am, you're not miscarrying, you're actually having twins.
That's crazy.
I could see two things in it. When I first looked at the ultrasound, I was like, wait, does it only have 2 chambers instead of 4? Like that's what I was thinking. So
were you worried that you're like, wait, is there gonna be a third one? Or like, cause you went from like thinking that you were miscarrying a baby to then having 2.
Yeah, the funny thing is earlier that day, I had just gone to my sister Missy's baby shower. So she was for JT.
Our cousin that's like our age,
yeah. Yeah, so I just gone to her baby shower. And I'm like, I knew I was gonna have, at least I thought I was having a DNC. So I was like, well, I'm just gonna go get in shape and be really healthy, but I won't be pregnant. I was like trying to like be okay with everything happening. So anyways, so then I tried calling my sister. She doesn't answer the phone. I tried calling my other sister. She doesn't answer the phone. I tried calling my mom. She doesn't answer the phone.
This is to tell them that you're pregnant with twins.
Yes, so then I drive over to Grandma and Grandpa's house and my dad was there. Nobody I don't know where my mom was, but I'm like, Dad, I'm having twins. And he's like, what? So I show him the ultrasound, and then, finally Janae calls me back because I was at the shower with
This is our aunt.
My sister, Janae, yeah. And I'm like, Janae, I'm having twins. She's like, shut up, no you're not. And I'm like, no Janae, I swear, I'm really having twins. So then she still wouldn't believe me because remember, she thought that I was going to the doctor to have a DNC. So then Grandpa has to tell Janae, he like picks up the phone, he's like, no, I'm looking at it and it looks like 2 little bear cubs. That's kind of the way I found out. I was like,
So you heard at the same time, were you guys like, uh-oh, double trouble?
It felt like, I was like, it's a good thing I'm already laying down because I'd probably faint at this news.
That's so funny. Okay, so then how far along were you with us? Like a month when that happened? Or like?
Yeah, I was like 6 weeks along is all.
During your pregnancy, I know that you always said that you were really sick, but did you have any like pregnancy cravings or anything like that?
No, but I used to, so I was doing hair the whole time and I just felt like every time that like I would get at all hungry, I would start shaking, sweating, and then getting super nauseous. So it's like I hated to get hungry. So I'd always have to have snacks around because it was like my blood sugar dropped. It was like I was gonna pass out and throw up.
That's crazy.
So not like cravings though.
Wasn't one of your cravings though, I swear, didn't you eat like a lot of McDonald's hamburgers or something?
No.
Or was that with Alyssa?
Alyssa.
Anyways, okay, and then leading up closer to the birth, so how far along, because my mom got put in the hospital when you were
30, like I was like 30 weeks along.
Okay.
And so you had twin-to-twin transfusions. So basically,
how did you find that out though?
So when I went in for my ultrasound around 30 weeks, I went into the doctors, they did the ultrasound and they're like, they could see that you were a lot bigger than Brock. And so they're like, uh-oh, this doesn't look good. So that day I didn't even go home. I went straight to the hospital. And they're like, when I got to the hospital, they're like, this is not good. You're gonna probably be delivering tomorrow. I was just like, oh no. They took me for a tour through the NICU so I could see like what little like 1 and 2 pound babies look like, because that's what they thought you guys would be. So I went and I just remember being like, oh no, this is like so scary.
Wait, but how did you guys find out we had twin-to-twin transfusion? They just did like blood work
So it was
and
because
stuff?
you guys were such different sizes.
That's
the first clue.
And twin-to-twin transfusion, it pretty much is like where one twin is getting a majority of like the food and fluids.
The blood flow, and then so like you were getting, the crazy thing is you would think, because so Boston was the donor, no, what's it called?
Recipient.
The recipient, and Brock was the donor. So Boston was getting too much blood flow, which is scary because it can build up fluid around the heart and the brain. And then Brock is not getting enough, so he's starving to death basically. So normally what happens in twin transfusion is one or both twins die. It's like a 3% mortality rate, I think. At least that's what it was when you
Wait, the 3% chance of living?
Uh-huh, yeah. So usually one or both twins don't make it. It was like scary when they're telling us all this stuff.
Because normally we would have went to like Jordan Valley to have you, but they had us go see a specialist up in
Salt Lake.
Yes, at the University of Utah. And
And
then they did a procedure.
What did they do?
I can't really remember what it does. They like drain fluid.
Okay, so what they did, so they gave me the steroid shots. Steroid shots, you had to have it in my system for 2 days, and that was to help your lungs develop. That was the word I was looking for. We waited 2 days, and then they were gonna do a scheduled C-section. And the doctor came in and he's like, I wanna try this procedure. He's like, not sure it's gonna work, but he's like, we already have a C-section scheduled anyway for you. He's like, but why not just give it a shot and try it? So what they were gonna do is they were gonna drain fluid off of Boston's sac and see if that relieved some pressure for Brock to grow a little bit. And so they did it, and they drained like, I can't even remember, but a lot of fluid off of your sac. And then they just kind of watched, and they're like, no, everything's looking good so far, so let's wait till tomorrow. So then the next day they did more stress tests, and they're like, no, everything's looking good. So that bought us, I think, 10 days. I think it was 10 days, right, Gentry?
A week.
So an extra 10 days of us staying in the womb to
Yeah,
grow.
and they say that for every day in the womb is like 2 days out of the womb for growth. So you can grow quicker and better. We can keep you in my belly. So every day they're just like, nope, looks good. Wait till tomorrow. So it's like they just kept pushing that C-section a day and a day. So then, when I first got to the hospital,
They were
Boston
preparing
was-
us that maybe one of you wouldn't make it.
Yeah, but
So that was hard.
when we very first got there, they said that their ultrasounds were like within 10% accuracy. But they were saying that Boston was weighing about 4 pounds and Brock was showing that he weighed about 2 pounds.
So I was like double the size.
Yeah. So then during that 10 days or week, Brock gained almost 2 pounds. Because you guys were born at 312 and 43. That's like
crazy.
a miracle.
Yeah.
So that procedure worked and was successful.
Yeah, we
So
thought like one of you were gonna come out like 2 pounds.
We didn't, because we're
312 and
strong.
43.
Anyways, okay, now leading up to like the day before, did you know that you were gonna give birth the next day, or was it just kind of like, okay, we're still waiting
Yeah.
it out? Oh, so then you knew the day before?
Yeah.
Okay, so what was that like?
Oh yeah, so when they did the day before they did the procedure, my whole family fasted, and like all the cousins, my siblings, spouses, they all did this like family fast that this procedure would work, and it did.
That's so sweet. And then the day before, so you're getting ready to give birth. What was that like? Because you weren't giving a regular birth. You were doing a C-section where they cut into you instead.
That was weird because with Alyssa, I would just go in with her like right off the bat. But when they did the C-section, they had her go in and they cut her open and made sure she was stable, and then I was able to go in there.
That's crazy.
See, I don't even remember any of that.
Once one of the babies were out, they like grabbed them and like took them through, like there was a window, and they like pushed them. Like we didn't get a hold of them or anything. They just grabbed you.
I didn't see him either. Like
Yeah.
usually they'll show the mom, but I didn't get to see
They
him.
grabbed you and then they took you through the window
That's
into like the
crazy.
NICU.
How fast was it? Like when you got into your C-section, were they able to like get us
quick.
out? It was like fast?
Yeah.
I
Like
felt
under
like it
10
was-
minutes or what?
Yeah, because
I
it was
felt
like,
like it was 15, 20 minutes.
because they had to just rush you. So you had your own team, Brock had his own team of NICU nurses and doctors that worked on you.
And we had no idea how stable you were. We had no clue.
So they just took you out and you're just like, I don't know what's
Yeah,
going
we just
on.
don't know. And then I just stayed with mom, and then
They eventually
stitched her
wheeled,
up.
like I got to go be wheeled down, and I could see you guys from like the doorway.
But this was hours later.
Yeah.
So like, but after we were delivered, did you like ask them? We're like, is everything like? Did they
Yeah,
say
they were-
everything's okay?
Yeah,
right now?
They were good.
Yeah,
They were-
they said everything's okay, but like you don't know it much.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's like they're okay because they're alive, but what other issues are they having?
So then after a few hours of waiting, you finally got to go and see us in the, what are
From
they
a
called?
distance.
What are those things? Incubator?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, where it's like, has like sun on the thing so like your baby doesn't get jaundice.
Yeah,
But did Brock still get jaundice? Did we both get jaundice?
Yeah, but you didn't. Yeah.
We both got yellow.
Yeah.
Couple Simpsons.
Yeah, like then when you saw us, how long did it take for, because the other thing is that Brock and I, we both had to stay in the NICU for, how long was it?
4 weeks.
4
They
weeks.
told us to plan on 6 to 8 weeks. So I felt like 4 weeks was really good that you got to come home early.
And then, but we were still on oxygen.
Yeah, we couldn't even hold you guys at
Oh,
first.
this is another story. So they had us, you had to do like a car seat test to make sure you could keep up your oxygen long enough in the car seats.
Mhm.
But then they gave us the little travel oxygen for the car ride.
So we were just like little old
This is
people.
this is a month later when we were finally taking you home.
Yeah, so I remember sitting in the back of the car with the twins on each side, and I'm just like, Gentry, they look kind of blue to me. And he's like, oh, it's probably your imagination. I'm sure they're fine. I'm like, I just don't like, your color wasn't good to me.
I probably said, really? I don't think I would have said, no,
It's just your imagination.
Like,
Yeah.
I would have never said that.
I think so.
Oh, they'll be fine. That is so,
We like can't even breathe.
that is so the opposite of how I would have reacted. I would have like, should we turn around?
Who knows?
So anyways, we got home.
And there was a nurse there that was meeting us there to get them set up on the oxygen at home. And she's looking at them and she's like, your oxygen levels were a little low. And she looks, and the nurses at the hospital didn't turn the oxygen on. So they really didn't have the extra oxygen.
You were right.
I know.
That's where your mom's gut or whatever. Intuition came in handy. And then when we got home, we had like, did we meet Alyssa at home or did Alyssa meet us before?
No,
She'd seen you in the
saw,
hospital.
yeah, she saw you out, but she couldn't come into the NICU, so she didn't get to see them, just like through pictures, I think, right?
Yeah.
At the U?
Or at the U? No, we could take her in, but the nurses in there really frowned upon it. Like, remember that one nurse?
I think they let her see him once, but I don't think ever again.
Like we had to like mask her up and the whole thing.
Yeah.
But then after that, what was her reaction to seeing us? Was she just like,
She loved it.
She was
loved
so
you guys.
cute to you guys.
She thought she was the little mom.
Yeah, she was so cute, and she would just like, she was always so helpful, and like if your binkies fell out, she'd always make sure to put them back in. She was a little miniature mom.
that's so
She was
funny.
so cute with you guys.
One thing that Brock and I always think of is, what if we were switched at birth? Like, what if I was actually baby A and Brock was baby B? Or what if our names were different? Like, we just never know. And so, like, what if one day, like, you were changing our diapers and then you actually, like, switched us up on, like, the wrong thing, and then I'm actually Brock and he's actually Boston?
Yeah.
It could have happened very easily, especially when I was on watch.
Or
I
could
could
you
always
guys
tell.
tell us
I could
apart?
always tell who was who. Dad could not. Oh, that was the other thing. Dad would get you confused all the time, and Alyssa would be like, "Dad, that's not Boston. That's Brock." All the time, huh?
I just considered them one person.
Yeah. And then also coming up with our names. So obviously it's Brock and Boston. Where did you guys get the names from?
So in high school, Dad always wore a Boston Red Sox hat.
Which is crazy because that's our Brock serving his mission.
I know. So funny. And then he would always be like, I'm gonna name my first kid Boston, first boy Boston. So we always knew the name Boston. And then we liked Brock, Brody, and Bridger. We liked all three of those names. And then Dad's best friend's name is Brock. And we're like, we like Brock, the person. And we're like, the name Brock. So we're like, let's just go with that, right? Can you say that?
So that's how Brock and Boston came to be.
That's right.
That is our birth story. I hope you guys liked it. Make sure to subscribe. We'll see you in the next video.